The last correspondence I want to read, bear with me, my throat's really dry and I'm out of water. Says, good afternoon. I had planned on attending this evening's board meeting. However, my experience on the 14th of February, I'm a little put off by the idea of attending and speaking at another board meeting. Some of the people who supported your election made it possible for others to have a voice in our township. This is something that the person that sent this worked on today and had planned on reading during public comment. So he says he hopes that we'll take his intent and read this, which I am. So he said, part of the two new board members said that they would work on getting rid of horrible comments that were levied against anyone who disagreed. So he also said good luck at the first board meeting, and he would like to congratulate both Mr. Kruger and Mr. List on their election wins. Both of you mentioned a couple of subjects in your campaigns. One was ending the fighting within the board. The other was closing the divide in the community. I would like to see that as well. To those means, I would like to propose a starting solution. The solution is respect. I didn't agree with the recall, and I did not agree with the things said during the campaigns. But congratulating you is a sign of respect. So he's congratulating you. I think the board and the community need a big dose of that. We need more than respect for the board. We need respect for every individual. Disagreement is healthy for a community as long as it's done respectfully. Without disagreement, there is no exchange of ideas, which diminishes growth. Why is respect important? Respect leads to communication. Communication leads to compromise. Compromise leads to cooperation. Cooperation can lead to trust. All things this community is lacking. Unless we get some respect for ideas and individuals, we are destined to have a small ruling class of bullies that do not have the interest of the entire township in mind. One way to grow respect is to give it. Mr. List approached me, this person, after the February 14th meeting. He stated that while he didn't agree with what this person had said, he also stated that I did not deserve to be treated that way. That is an excellent example of mutual respect, even with differing opinions. I truly appreciate that gesture. More importantly, it opened me up to ideas of returning that respect. Here is a very simple way you can extend respect. So he's asking us to stop referring to each other by first names and say Mr. or Supervisor Kruger or Clerk Dawson, etc. Another good way to extend respect would be to thank the previous members for their service, agree or disagree with their policies and decisions. They serve the community. You are about to find out how much time, energy, and effort that takes. Their commitment, their time, and their dedication alone deserves respect. You both should also be reminded that you are now elected officials. You are no longer campaigning. Your words represent all of Lee Township. This means you also speak for the 3,600 that did not vote for you. Some of your supporters are speaking for you. They are making nasty, rude, indescribable, disrespectful,
littlest violence in the world.
social media posts. Let me finish. They're making social media posts attacking the previous supervisor, previous trustee and anyone associated with them. They are no longer on the board, so you can stop attacking them. However, if you look at their post, one might conclude that your plan to eliminate infighting within the board is to bully, intimidate those appointed by the previous members into resigning. Unless you condone the comments, or unless you condemn those comments, you are condoning them and validating their methods. Attacks against Mr. Stewart are certainly not warranted. He didn't ask for this position. He took it after losing the election. An average person would have told the supervisor to pack sand, and when asking him to return to do the job the community obviously didn't want him to do, he set his pride aside and decided to help his community the best way he could. You can agree or disagree that the decision, but respect the man for his commitment to our community. Personally, I want to thank Mr. Stewart for taking on this job, suffering all the criticism from doing what he believes was right. Your group has made it clear that your plan is removing him in August, unless this group can pressure him to resign. You are replacing him with a member of your election committee. Isn't that the same thing that your support group is upset about? Isn't that what they said the previous supervisor did? The big difference is previous administration didn't remove the elected treasurer. She quit after 53 days. Your plan on removing someone good at their job and replacing them with a friend out of spite for the previous board. All I'm asking is to show him and those serving on the committees some respect. Condemn those tactics or you will have to own them. I would like to finish with this. A person's character isn't defined by what they say, it is defined by what they do. Are you going to show us the leader you said you were going to be, or are you going to let this small group of residents speak for you? I'll wait and see. Joe Moore, resident, Lee Township. I did what Joe asked me to do, and what I'm asking is that we try to come together as a community and not bash. You know, if I say something on
How come this
Facebook,
man does more talking than anybody else, and he gets to have the
Mr.
whole thing
Kruger,
read?
is this not a sign of disrespect? Is this not? They are
They.
more, yes, you
All right.
are more
Okay.
than
Stop.
free
Point
to
of
spout
order.
or
Point of
disrespect.
order, you two.
And whenever we
I'm
say
gonna
something,
point
we
of order.
Any other business that can be brought to the board?
You know what that means?
Any other business that can be brought to the board?
I wasn't finished. I am asking each one, myself included, to reach down and say, Becky, I appreciate what you're doing. I really do. You know, Doris, you have served so many years for this township doing things that I cannot even begin to recall all of what you have done. Chris, you the same. Mary, you. Yasna, when I first met you, you aggravated the daylights out of me, and you knew it, and I knew it. But didn't we set that aside? Didn't we set it aside and work together? Same thing for Heidi. So all I'm asking is everyone respect your neighbor. I think that's how we were all raised. Because I know my mom said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
I don't think you should preach to anybody, nor should Joe Moore preach.
So-
Because he was not being fair. He put his personal opinion in his letter. So let's just stop it right now.
So, back to you.
Okay, are there any other business that can be brought before the board today? Sharon?
So I have just, and this has no personal, just make sure, no personal disclaimers to anyone. This is not a negative item to anyone. For me, personally, I've always found it a little weird that, like, our tax stuff is in somebody's homes.
Yes.
So I am just going to ask, now that I understood that people needed to work stuff from home from COVID, I completely understand that we had a lot of nursing staff that, were making a lot of phone calls and that kind of stuff. But COVID's over, the restrictions are over, everyone's gone back to work, they're back into their offices. I'd like to be able to walk in, come to my township, and not have to ring a doorbell and just one person come, that I can come in and actually have some people who are actually here, and I can sit down and talk with them in their office.
They have an office.
Whether it's the treasury or Paul or the clerk or whatever. So I would like to ask that, effective immediately, that all tax stuff start verification and that office gets back opened up so that people can come in and talk to Bill. I don't
Exactly.
even know where he lives. He seems like a really nice guy. I just don't know where he lives, or I can email him or whatever. But I personally would just like to be able to come in and ask a question.